Rule 42. All persons more than a mile high must leave the court immediately.
1, 2, 3, 42.
Today's rule is Rule 22. Stand up, get out of there, and go for it.
No, now that was the mission. That was the Wheel of Fortune song.
No, it
Mission-
wasn't. Impossible.
That's Wheel of Fortune. It's the same fucking song. Mission Impossible is dun 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 dun. Now, Wheel of Fortune, yes. Wheel of Fortune is dun 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 dun. It's based on the same song.
You know, I don't watch Wheel of Fortune, so I don't even know they had a
Wheel
song.
of Fortune. I just do not think it sounds like Mission.
I like The Price is Right.
Price is Right. Best song when you were sick as a kid. Best song, best show.
Price is Right is so much fun. We went to Price is Right live. I brought my father-in-law because he's like super Price is Right fan. Like he watches it all the time, every day, even reruns.
It's Mr. Pedro.
Oh my God, Mr. Pedro loves it. You would have thought I took him to like, I don't even know, like the bestest place in the world. He was just like, oh man. And then we got like the special like tickets where we got to spin the wheel.
Oh,
That's
spin
glory.
the
Did
wheel.
you get to be a contestant or no? You didn't get to get on?
No, we didn't get picked.
Aww.
They're coming
Oh,
to
no.
Bridgeport again in September though, so I feel like we should try again.
All right, so I got to know, what is your favorite game?
Blinko.
Yes.
That's the one I was gonna say too.
Flaco is the best game, hands down. Best game. Anxiety inducing. Look at this guy. Were you just talking about how beer, it's depressing? And you just had a heartfelt,
Yeah, guy.
well, guys, in a good way. Like you just had a heartfelt discussion with
That's
Jacqueline.
because I just overdid it yesterday, but in my defense, I was having a good time.
Oh, you
So I'm
tuned-
catching up. I'm a little hungover.
Oh, you got tuned up last night.
Oh, dude, I got home and I was totally fine. I got upstairs. I took a shower. Totally fine. I laid down in the bed and closed my eyes, and all of a sudden, everything was spinning.
Oh, no.
My heart started racing. I started sweating. I was like, am I having a panic attack or am I drunk? Look, shit's just like falling apart. Oh, no, that just came over.
1, 2, 3, 42.
Hello. I'm Audrey. Welcome to Rule 42. We just lost. Here she comes. Oh, baby kitty.
Oh, kitty. I got 5 of those at my house right now.
Oh, my God. Kittens?
Yes.
I thought you were a dog person.
My daughter's a cat person, so now I'm both.
Aw. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I love cats, but I love dogs, but I also love traveling, so they make it really hard.
Yeah, I'm a cat person, as you can see.
All right,
That's-
so let's
One of two. So,
let's get right into it.
yeah. Jamie, welcome to Rule 42. I'm Audrey.
I'm
That's
Jen.
good.
Sorry. Sorry, there's people walking into my house. I was just like, what's going on?
And we have Tommy over here who will pretty much just be quiet the whole time. And it is such a pleasure having you here. We got a chance to go over some information about you. Is there anything that you don't want to touch?
Nope, I'm fine.
Open book? You're good? Okay, great. So we're going to dive right into this. Where did your story start with how you ended up on the path where you are now? I don't know if your tragedy had any type of impact on where you are now and how you got there, or if there was something that led to that prior to this.
Definitely. So from 18, I started a grooming salon in my mom's garage that just completely blew up. Like for a garage, we were doing like 20 or 30 dogs a day. It was insane. I met
That's at 18.
at 18. Yes. Right out of high school.
Wow.
I was going to go to vet tech school. That was like my main goal. I wanted to be like a nurse for animals. That was my dream. But I started with grooming school first just to kind of get my foot in the door. And then, obviously vet tech school was really expensive. So I started grooming in my mom's garage just to kind of like help me with my school payments and just to kind of get me through schooling. And I ended up just really falling in love with it because since I was a student at the time, I was offering lower rates, obviously. So people who couldn't really afford to get their dogs groomed were coming to me, and they were just really like, they would just thank me, thank you so much. My dog got really matted. This and this happened in my life. I just couldn't afford it or this. So like, we really appreciate you. And I would go work for these vet offices that they would put dogs down, healthy dogs, just because they were like, oh, well, this person wants euthanasia. It's a service. We're going to get paid for it. So we're going to do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's some crazy stories working for them. And I just had these two different experiences, and that just kind of opened my eyes to like, I think I want to be a groomer. I think I want to go with this dream of like, helping people that offering low cost to like veterans and disabled people. And so I found this like,
Passion
and like dharma for myself so young. So I ended up literally just standing up in the middle of vet tech school one day and being like, I'm leaving. I'm going. My friends at the time, I would talk to them. I'd write business, my whole business plan, like during notes and during class and stuff. So they all knew at the time, but we were just in the middle of the lecture, and I was just like, I'm going to get out of here. And I stood up and I was like, I'm going to go open my grooming salon, you guys. And I never came back. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. So that got pretty big. And I was about 21 years old when I met someone. He was working really hard. He had just gotten a contract with Bellator. He had been working on his dream for a long time. So we just really meshed. I really found him like, he just worked he would be in the gym 8 hours a day. He was very disciplined with his diet and everything. And we meshed really well. So, when I was 21, we ended up getting pregnant, and I had my first child. It was a boy, and we were over the moon. I mean, it was a little bit of a toxic relationship here and there, but I feel like after we had him, he kind of like settled a little bit into his life. But he also did have a past of abuse, sexual, physical, mental, every sort of abuse that you can imagine. So I did start to notice little strange things here and there. Just like when Hunter would cry, he would have this face of frustration that, like, especially me as a 21-year-old, I've never seen that before. That wasn't a normal, like, just frustrated face. It was something that, like, I could tell from the bottom of my heart there was something there that was just not good.
Sure.
So yeah, I was at work one day, and I got a phone call, and I rushed back to my house, and they weren't telling me what was going on at the time. So I ended up showing up at my house, and they were shocking him with my son with defibrillators as I walked into my house.
How old was he?
He was 5 months old. So I immediately went to him and I said, what happened? And he said, I was giving him a bath. I walked out for 2 seconds, grabbed a towel, walked back in, and he was flipped over in his little tub. And immediately I was like, I kind of just went with it on the surface, but immediately I was like, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. So, and it ended up being a couple days in the hospital running tests and stuff. He got frustrated during a cry fit, and he shook him to death. So I actually just finished trial maybe like 3 years ago. It took a really long time, but yeah. So yeah, that was definitely a pivotal point in my entire life, because up until then, my business was open 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Holy cow!
I closed. And when that happened to me, I was just so upset with myself. Like, why did I think this like old school mentality of like you work and work and work until you cannot work anymore? Like I missed everything that was important to me in my life, and I wasted so much time. So that was definitely a pivotal point in my moment in my whole journey, because I was immediately like, the next time I have children, I'm not only taking 4 weeks off after I have a C-section and going right back into grooming. Like I'm going to take time with my kids, and I'm going to make sure that when I have kids again, that I'm going to be able to be with them all the time. And this, this whole working down to the bone is just not the answer. And so I feel like that was a huge pivotal moment for me, not only in my personal life to have a goal of what I'm going to, work towards when I have children again, but also in my business, because that's what everyone talks about today, is like not wearing all of the hats and kind of stepping back and working on your business and not in your business. And so that situation kind of accidentally pushed me into that mindset and was able to allow me to grow into what I have today, 9 years later. So.
That's amazing. And you have a daughter.
And I have a son.
And how old are they?
5 and 7.
One, kudos to you, because I have 6 children. I have had one miscarriage, and I think about that all the time. So I could not even imagine going through anything like that. And then you didn't let it stop you, and you still became a mom again and again. And you realized just something that a lot of people don't realize until it's too late, how valuable it is to have that time with them, and how important it is to like be in those moments with them, because they grow up so fast. And they're all different. So it's not even like, oh, I've had a 5-year-old, but I've never had this 5-year-old at this age acting like that, jumping over my head. Like it's just, and I am so happy for your kids, because they get to actually have their mom around, and that's so important. And then you grew a successful business. Well, you started with a successful business, which is insane at 18. And hey, nowadays they turn 18 and it's like, what do you mean I'm an adult? I would like my eggs done and some pancakes made, and I ain't going nowhere. So the fact that you even took it upon yourself to like say, hey, you know what? This is my goal. This is what I'm willing to do to get to that goal. And I'm a veteran, so I know what it's like to come back and not be able to. You want to do something, like it's not like people just don't want to take care of their pets. Like the pets are like family. A lot of people that have pets, that's their kids. They're the fur babies, and you want to take care of all of your children. But unfortunately, that is one of those things that is considered a luxury. Being able to have your dog groomed. So you weren't just building something for yourself at such a young age. You were freaking allowing other people to experience something that they never would have. And that's that ability to care for something that they love. And you gave that at 18. And I don't even think you realized that you were giving them that. You were just looking at an opportunity to have, like, to get where you wanted to be. And that's such an important thing, because having less than doesn't make you less than. And it's so easy to feel that way when you're down there. So to be able to be like, yeah, I'm walking over to this garage and walk out with your fur baby, and it's all like pretty and not like, looking like it's homeless. You offered that. And I don't know, I feel like karma's so real, and manifesting like your destiny is so real, and you just grew it into holy cow amazingness. So now, so you're still in the grooming business.
Yes.
You just more have like other people running it,
Exactly.
like doing it.
Yeah. So I went from 2 to 4 in the last calendar year.
Now this is mobile grooming now.
No, 4 storefronts.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, 4 storefronts. So that was huge. This is like huge growing pains right now. I had to basically split because there was two. I was doing all the back end stuff when there was two. So then now doing the back end stuff for four, like that doesn't work. So I had to basically split my job into 3 people. So I have someone else that gets to stay home with her kids and she works remotely and does all the back end stuff with me. And then I have a regional manager who visits all of the locations consistently to make sure that all of the managers, the daily managers, are doing what they're supposed to do. So that's all very new to me. I didn't have that set up before, but with this many things now, it's kind of necessary.
And how is it with the kids? Like, do you end up taking them? Do they just love dogs?
Yeah. So, I mean, my job now is at home, on the computer most of the time, phone calls, and then I deliver all of their supplies to them so that I can kind of still go in there and be people and say hello and see how everything's doing. So, yeah, I'll take the kids with me. They're all up the 15 freeway in Corona. So we just take this a straight road up. We visit all the salons. We'll go to the beach after and stuff like that. Yeah. And then I'm actually, I'm starting homeschool with the kids this year too. So I'm really,
yeah. Would you mind talking?
Are you ready for that? Yes.
we're all interested in homeschooling.
We're committed. What's happening?
Well, I'm doing it's partially virtual. So 3 days a week, they're basically in like a Zoom with a full classroom doing like a project with other kids. So I like that part of it. And then also the community of, when there's like award ceremonies and graduations and stuff like that, we have an area like a half hour away from us that we meet for stuff like that. And then basically Mondays and Fridays, I just log on to the portal and they do their, stuff like on their own those 2 days. And then, yeah, we're just going to try to like travel and go camping for a month over here.
It's amazing.
I feel like that time with your kids is so important, and we put so much stress on them and just going to school and with the school attendance and all the other issues in the schools, that I feel like just having that time where they're learning, but they're also spending time with you and getting to do fun things. Like, I know my kids are riddled with anxiety because of the schools, that like I feel like you doing the homeschooling and spending that time with them is so important, and it's awesome that you're doing that.
And that is a big part of it. It's not just the fact that you're doing the schooling from home. You'll be able to travel, and you don't have anybody to answer to in terms of, well, no, they had to physically be in a building for X amount of days. Well, why? Because I think that they learned a lot more being in Rome, walking around, looking at the structures that they read about in the books in the classroom. So you're providing them an actual existence within history.
Yeah, I definitely didn't like that they're in school for, about 6 to 8 hours a day. And then they have to come home and do multiple hours of homework. And then I'm doing, because I have two different drop-off times. So now I'm doing 6 to 8 hours of driving per week. Yeah. And then my kids are still behind and putting in all of this time and hours. Like, it's not mathing to me.
No. It doesn't math to a lot of people. You'd be surprised.
And I'm gonna take on the full responsibility of doing it.
Yeah, that comes up a lot on our show because we're all in various stages of hating school right now for our kids. So, and we're realizing that now, like just like jobs, you don't have to be at your desk 8 hours a day.
No.
For 5 days a week. The world is changing, and school should change with it. It hasn't happened yet, but hopefully you're going down this road, and Jen is leaning towards it too, and I'm sure. And Audrey.
Yeah, I think we're out this year because I'm done. I'm so done.
Well, I think COVID also showed us, a lot of us, what that school is kind of glorified babysitting, in that you don't need 8 hours with the kids. Mm-hmm. Like you said, Jamie, to then hand homework on top of that is ridiculous.
Yeah. And then you have their sports and all that on top of that stuff. So the kids are like running ragged all day.
Sports are legit, though.
Sports are great. I love the sports. Like, that's why my kids are all in sports. I think sports give them more. You get team. You learn discipline.
Jamie, have your kids gotten into the competitive world of any type of sport yet?
I haven't. They haven't really found their passion yet. We've done a ton of different things, but there's nothing that they're really that they like yet. So we're kind of just like experimenting. So that's why I'm excited to travel a little bit, because let's say we go stay at a campground in San Diego. Well, for instance, there's a really like world-renowned martial arts school in San Diego, and my son is really into martial arts. So I want to kind of do things more like that, you know, kind of
so cool.
where we're going and staying off of like what they want to do and their passions and stuff like that.
Oh, plus, you can go for the best Mexican food in Old Town too. So don't skip on that.
Oh, the burritos are so good.
You get to experience the culture, the food, like everything.
We're jealous East Coasters here.
I know. I miss the burritos in San Diego.
But you know,
Are you on the verge of doing the whole like RV thing and just kind of getting the different stations, hitting the different? My brother did it.
I have my home base, but I definitely do want to have that freedom to just be like, as long as you're on your laptops by 9 on your school days, like we have complete freedom of
And that's the other thing. These kids had to wake up so early.
right, for what?
One of my kids was having to wake up at 5:30 because her bus was here at 6:15.
Yeah, and then they're zombies all day because they're tired, and then they're napping at like 3:00, and then it's a whole.
And then they can't sleep.
Yeah, and for me, they have multiple homes. So like my mom likes to take them one day every other week or so, and then their father has a schedule with them. So it's like, yeah, if you look at like what we're putting them through, especially in multi-parent, you know, when you have different households, like how stressful is that to go from, you know, moms to dads to school to homework to sports, and then like, yeah, grandma's a break on the weekend, but it's also another place with another environment. And it's just, yeah, when you break it down like that, I feel like we're putting way too much on them.
Yeah, I want to jump back a second. You talked about your business and how you've, as a business owner, you've kind of had to delegate. Now, how difficult was that for you? Because this is your thing, and now it's like, hey, you 4 people run these different things, or 3 people that you've said. Like, how was it difficult for you to let go of that aspect of the control of the business?
If I to this day only had one salon, I would still be that way. Taking on more forces you. Like you don't have a choice but to let go, because there's way too many things for you to even take on. It's like the whole thing, like the whole cliche of being like a helicopter parent, kid 1 and then kid 3, they're like juggling.
Oh, the kid 3 is like eating stuff off the floor. And you're like, all right.
Yeah, they're fine. Tommy's experienced that with me.
Yeah.
Once you get to 6, you're just like, what do you mean he's jumping down the steps? What do you think he was going to do?
The 2-year-old to make his own dinner.
I have him on the counter.
But it's incredibly difficult as moms, as the 3 of you guys are moms, to balance life. And then on top of that, like yourself, Audrey's also a business owner, and there's so many, you know, you're being pulled in so many directions.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you find the balance with that?
Especially because things are changing from like, I never get like 3 months to just adjust into a lifestyle. Like I'm always adding more things, or now there's homeschool, or now there's another business, or now this. So I really just let everyone know, or I remind everyone around me. I'm like, hey, I just got another business, so it's just like I had another baby. I'm going to need a little bit more communication from you. I'm going to need a little bit more reminders, and give me a little bit of time and I will adjust and I will get myself together. So definitely being communicative with everyone around you, because I don't always have everything together. Like my house, either my house is clean and my kids are taken care of, and then something's on fire over here that I have, like, there's never everything is together. That's fake.
That's everyone.
Yeah. Life in general, because there's always something being thrown at you or something that you gotta.
Yeah, exactly.
Some chaos that you have to deal with of the day.
Yeah, exactly. So really just being communicative and giving myself that time to adjust to everything.
Oh, see, I have the meltdowns every now and then, and I tell everybody I'm going to sell everything. I'm going to quit working and say la vie, and I'm just going to disappear, and y'all figure it out. And then they all start panicking, and they're like, wait, what? But then they start being a little nicer, so they get on board. And then those fires that are starting over there while I'm trying to keep everything else together start going out all of a sudden. Like, haha. Like, you continue to move on and move ahead and start new businesses. I do the same thing. And I know that like each step that I'm taking, I'm taking it for them because I never want them to know what it's like to struggle or to ever question where their head's going to lay. I always want them to know that they have a bed to lay in or a home to go to, whether I'm here or not. So I just keep pushing and pushing. But then I also started to realize, wait a minute, what am I doing? I don't know my 13-year-old. I don't know. My 2-year-old's doctor didn't even recognize me. I took him for his 2-year checkup, and she was introducing herself to me. And I'm mom, and she knew, she was very familiar with my son. And I realized that like I was losing that part. Like, yeah, I can do all of these things that I'm doing, but I had to kind of I have to put the brakes on, because one isn't, it's never, enough is never enough. But you'll never get these moments back. So I can always try to make more money tomorrow or next week, but I won't get that chance. My 9-year-old's not going to always want to go to plays with me. And my 5-year-old's not going to always want to give me hugs. And my 2-year-old's not going to always look at me and say, Mom. So I want to grasp onto those moments more the way that you are, because they're just so important, and I'm losing out on a lot of them. And when I had nothing, my older ones had all of it. They had the attention. We were always somewhere. We were always doing something. We didn't need to be home in our 1-bedroom apartment with 3 people. No, we were going to the park and going to explore the sand and meet new people and just find out what's around us instead of being holed up somewhere. And yeah. So I don't know. I think I'm going to start leaning towards homeschooling too. Like, it's hard. You're constantly grinding. And now you have payroll to meet, and you have not just your kids you're taking care of. You're literally taking care of your employees too.
Well,
So,
I think all of us can think back to high school and probably cringe at how anxiety-inducing it was for probably all the 4 of us at different times. You know, you had, why? That sucks. And you say it's preparing you for the real world, but it's not. It's just
no.
It's not. We don't use half of the stuff that we learned.
And it's unnecessary. There's a lot of unnecessary cruelty that
she used what she learned, because she came out of high school and was like, "Yeah, business done."
Well, that's a great question. That brings me back. So now you're 18 and you have like these, and you're an adult by law, but you have these adults working for you. I mean, how weird is that? So you had to tell some 35-year-old woman, like, hey, you're not pulling your weight, you know, and you're this kid. So how do you deal with that? Or did you deal with that?
I honestly could not wait to get older. It was really bad. I mean, good thing I was there all the time. If I tried to step back at that point, that just wouldn't have worked, because it doesn't matter how professional I am. If I hold meetings and have a handbook and have, you know, like a continued education for them, like, doesn't matter how much I do, I am still always a child to them. And so they're always going to take moments to try to check me or push me or see if I'll roll over. And it's like, you know, 7 against 1. So that was definitely a struggle as a kid. And it just didn't go away until I was older.
Were employees women or were they men? Because also, unfortunately, men try to run over women just by nature. And then now you're a kid and a woman. They're probably like, screw this kid, you know?
Yeah, I had both.
See, and that's a component that I don't understand in like human behavior. Appreciate where you are, because there's so many that would have loved to have the opportunity to make the money that you were giving them by having a job.
Yeah.
So instead of getting this higher, like, mightier than thou because of your age, how about thank God for you, because if it wasn't for you, they wouldn't have that coming in.
Had a few of them reach out to me later on and apologize for the way that they acted.
Yay!
I went on to have adults manage me that were not as responsible as you were at the time. So I appreciate, and you know, I was at the time everyone was allowed to do vaccinations and microchipping and stuff. So our facility was doing that. They were able to move on and get vet tech jobs after that. So yeah, I mean, they did do stuff in the. I feel like later they kind of realized, So
That's amazing. See, and again, that's a trial that an 18-year-old shouldn't have had to have gone through, because we really should learn to appreciate the things that are provided to us. There's so many people out there that beg for work that can't get it, and but you have 4 storefronts. Do you know how crazy that is? Everything in this storefronts just don't exist anymore, and you're growing them. But that is freaking amazing. All I keep seeing are places closed. I think there was what was that place? They made a crumble cookie in Norwalk, and it closed in 3 months. And you're opening new locations.
And you have other businesses as well. You have you have a product line as well, right?
I do. Yes. I kind of keep quiet with that. I'm not heavily pushing that, because products are just a whole nother beast. Once you start mass producing, then you need this huge equipment, and then shipping becomes crazy. So right now, obviously my 4 salons, and then I think I have between 7 and 10 regular ordering salons in the local area that I do pick up and drop off orders for. So it's small, but I'm okay. I'm okay with that right now. I don't want to grow with that specifically.
Well, there's the perception with your priorities lining up. So yeah, you have something that you could potentially put a lot of time and effort and money behind to then in the long term become something immense, but you realize what you'll lose in the process of getting there. And that's so important. Holy crap. Who is your mom? Where did this come from? Your mom, your dad? Where is this? Because all of this is young. You've done all of this at such an early age. Was it your school? I'm
going to make sure my mom doesn't watch this. So my mom and dad are entrepreneurs in their own way. My dad, he's very startup, goes 1,000% and then gives up and starts a completely new thing. And he's just kind of been a in and out entrepreneur his whole life. My mom is an entrepreneur. She did own multiple businesses, but she also lost everything because she does everything illegally. So I don't I guess I've seen that lifestyle growing up of the entrepreneur and the business, but I don't follow her as a mentor in her way.
But you got the entrepreneurship from them.
Yes.
You just and that's an early age to just start. There's so many 18-year-olds that don't even know what options are out there in terms of the workforce. And you were just workforce, I'm just going to do it myself. Yeah. And the fact that you recognize so early that where you intended to go, where your dream was originally taking you with the vet tech school and all of that, it wasn't something that you had thought it was. And you were able to back out of that knowing. Some people would have just kind of gone with what you had already and not even gone after that other dream. So there would have always been that question of, well, what if I had done this? Well, you know that you didn't need to do that because you actually took that step to try to get to that part of your dream and realize, I can't believe that they would just euthanize the dog because, hey, the insurance will cover it. They want it to die now.
The guy cheated on his wife. Didn't move all of this stuff out yet. The husband takes the dog into us, the wife takes the dog into us, says, I want to put this dog down. We put it down. The husband comes 2 days later, bawling, why would you put my completely healthy dog down? Well, she told us to.
Oh my God.
He did it out of spite because he cheated.
Oh my God. What's wrong with it? What is that?
No blood.
That's murder.
Yeah.
No.
That's premeditated murder. That was done with the intent of
property in California. So that's
that is so sad. That's like family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't stay in that world.
No.
On a more positive note, you're also a breeder, right? So you're bringing new dogs into the world?
I was breeding standard poodles for a few years, but California has gotten to the point where our shelters are full and breeders are backed up. Breeders are keeping puppies till 6 months old. Rescues can't adopt out. And so my last litter, it was really hard. I had to build a whole new area because now I don't have puppies. Now I'm taking care of bigger puppies. And so after that last litter, I was like, I can't watch all of this go down and still continue to breed dogs. So I fixed my female and I'm pausing that for a while.
Well, what's a standard poodle? Those are the ones that are big, right?
The poodles that are
holy crap, so you're getting stuck with dogs.
9 to 12 of them. I was like, no.
Oh my goodness. Got a phone out.
Those are like horses. They're like little ponies.
What's the best breed of dogs, and which dogs are the biggest assholes?
So it's different in the groom. Like people owning a dog will say something different than a groomer that's grooming the dog. So definitely, Chihuahuas are the biggest shock to people because they're so nice and good with their owners, but as soon as they're away, they'll attack, hold on, and shake. Like,
whoa.
That someone said that once, they're like the little cokeheads, right? They're just like,
they're literally not just constantly shaking.
They get the zoomies. Zoom, zoom.
Cocker spaniels are another one that groomers. It's groomer's nightmare. Doodles.
I had a Cocker Spaniel. She was crazy. She bit our groomer like a bunch of times. The last time the woman was like, I can't do your dog anymore because she's crazy. So, my mom did not like that. But I was like,
and then
doodles.
Doodles are another, it's a groomer's nightmare.
So I have a doodle. And there's one guy that will do him, and it will take him all day.
Really?
Because he'll keep on having to latch him and do another dog because my doodle will decide, no, you're not touching me here. So he'll just all day, every now and then he'll bring him back on the table, click him back in and start again. And when my dog's done, he's like, I'll move on to the next dog.
All right, so aside from the bad ones, aside from silky terriers, which are awesome because I have them, what are some of the best dogs to grow it?
Best dogs, I would say labs are always pretty good. Shih Tzus are always pretty good.
Oh, they're so cute.
There are some bad ones, but I feel like generally they're pretty good. Dalmatians are really good.
Dalmatians.
What if someone brings like a pit bull into your place? Are you like, are you a fan of pits, or are you not? Where do you fall on that?
We don't usually have issues with pits at all. Yeah.
Pit bulls?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
And what about annoying customers? Like, how do you deal with them? You have people who are just like really too much, and you fire them like Jen's mom's dog got fired. Do you ever have to fire customers?
Okay. Oh yeah, we actually had a really bad customer week this last week. My employees got called like a CUNT.
Oh,
like the just all kinds of stuff, and it's for small things like a cancellation fee. It's on the website. It gets texted to your phone after you make an appointment. It's on the front desk. Like it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You have to enforce something like that. Obviously, if someone was like, my mom was in the hospital, we'll waive it. But
yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Well,
that time was blocked off.
Yeah, that groomer that's getting paid, she doesn't get to clock out. She now has to sit there during that gap, and you lost everybody money. Like, you don't realize how much no-shows affect us. So I guess it's like, whenever we back ourselves up or try to just like enforce things that negatively affect us, if we don't, people just get, in their own heads about stuff like that and tend to lash out at us for it.
And is Best in Show the best dog movie of all time?
Really?
Come on.
I don't watch TV really.
Oh, it's a movie from like 20 years ago. You got to watch it.
Yeah.
You've never seen Best in Show? You have. It's great. It's comedy. You'll love it. It's incredible.
I can't with you.
Ah, it's a great movie.
It is a good movie. I'm with you on that, though.
It's so much fun. I promise you won't be disappointed. It's great.
Tom can email it to you later. So
I'll send you the link.
So what other businesses have you, because I know that you just, when we were discussing like communicating with other people around you in terms of like, look, this is like having a new baby. So like I've started a new business and, you know, you kind of have to communicate with me and kind of remind me like, please. Did you start something again recently? Or is it just opening the new storefront?
The fourth location was in April, 3 months ago.
Wow. So how's it going? Like, do you think you'll end up with a fifth one?
I swear once. Okay, so I purchased existing grooming salons. Like besides my first one that I built out and made, the other 3 I purchased from existing owners. So
okay,
like once I've gotten into this space, now I have people contacting me like, I want to sell. Please buy it from me. And I'm like, no. Getting me 2 months to just get everything together. And then, yeah, it always comes at the worst time. But yeah, I definitely have opportunities for it all the time. Really, really incredible opportunities at that. So definitely as soon as I get everything exactly how I want it, then I'll take on something else.
That is amazing. So you don't stop.
No. See, I'm going to, but I don't.
Do you have ADHD also?
I absolutely do.
That's why you don't stop.
I need to know before we let you go, how can we stop my dog from dragging his butt on the cart?
That means his glands need to be expressed.
Okay.
Like, I'm not doing that.
I mean, you can YouTube it and do it.
Do it.
Gloves, but that's a vet or a groomer thing.
Okay.
Do it.
So they're basically just like scratching themselves, right? Is that what that is?
They're trying to get it to like express that gland themselves, but scooting doesn't always work.
So he's expressing his glands all over your floor.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Well, haven't you ever noticed sometimes there's like a wet streak? Sometimes when they do that.
Oh, we just blame that on the kids.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah.
Oh. All right. Noted. Thank you for that, Jamie, because now... just by the way, he's 13. So
Wait, so this is funny because Jen has that kitten and it wasn't pooping.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So you have to help them poop.
Lady at the vet was just like, oh, I'll help you. And she started doing it. And I was like, I have to do that? Like, I can't. But I did it. He's pooping. He's good now.
Yay. See, when you love your fur babies, you do what you got to do, Tommy.
Yeah, well,
that includes expressing their glands.
And I'm sure Jamie can tell us that people are absolutely crazy about their pets and their dogs. And fortunately for you, that leads to a successful businesses that you have.
Oh, yeah.
So that's pretty awesome.
That is amazing. Jamie, it was so good to meet you and to hear your story and to find out like so much. I never would have thought that the grooming industry would get like that. That's amazing. And I definitely didn't know that they euthanize dogs like that.
That's terrible.
That's it.
Yeah,
And you got a ton of tattoos. How many tattoos do you have?
I know. I saw the arm.
Yeah.
I have an arm sleeve and a leg sleeve.
Nice.
Are they on the same side?
Opposite.
Yeah. You got to balance it.
Because between the 3 of us, we have what, like 30 tattoos?
Like 50,000.
Yeah.
I contribute 0 of those, but the girls have.
I want more. So much.
Yeah, me too. I want to do my whole back.
Me too.
But
oh wait, see, I went from rapping to we're getting tattoos now. I'm sorry, that's the ADHD. I'm so sorry. But it was a pleasure meeting you, and it was a pleasure hearing your story. And thank you for being on Rule 42 and sharing it with us. And for those of our listeners that are in your area and want to get their dogs groomed, how do they find you?
Doggy Spawn Corona, Fallbrook Pet Parlor, Lakeland Pet Grooming, or I just forgot. Temecula Pet Salon.
You have a website or like an Instagram that people can go to?
They're all separate businesses and they all have separate handles. So
Okay, Tommy can put that in the...
I certainly can.
Yeah. And one more thing. for those looking to sell their grooming business.
Audrey's taking her cut right there. There you
You
go.
can reach out to Jamie. Just give her 2 months, please. Thank you so much. And it was a pleasure having you.
It was great talking to you. Bye.
Thanks, Jamie.
Bye.
1, 2, 3, 42.
That was amazing talking to Jamie, finding out all about her grooming business and getting a little
Her whole story of how, like, just the stuff that she went through and losing a child is so hard, and to show that she just grew into this amazing woman who spends time with her kids and prioritizes her kids now is amazing. And
a value that's so lost.
yeah,
And the opportunity to just kind of get a message out there that we just don't talk about. We don't talk about so much anymore, but one of the things that we don't talk about is definitely being willing and open to see the signs of the people around us and how they can impact our kids. Because unfortunately, it is a story that you hear a lot. Like, people get overwhelmed and frustrated and they will shake babies. And there are resources out there.
yeah,
So
much
because
that will
they're
help.
drop the baby off at a firehouse. Dude, put the baby in a crib for a minute, walk out for 10 minutes. The baby will be okay in a safe space, and it's okay to take a break.
Well, we've also said several times, like, just go count to 10. As silly as it sounds, just breathe.
Redirect your brain for a minute and a different, more positive. Yeah.
But on a positive note, Jen, as you say that, she didn't let this define her. And she became this kick-ass business owner who's just biting up businesses now.
Yeah.
And that's
Dude, people are like throwing at her, like, no, please take mine. Take mine too.
so I mean, you have this unspeakable tragedy happen, and she shows you, like, the strength that you can, life continues and you can be successful and move forward. As much as I'm sure there's a hole in her heart that'll never go away, she's still living and she's thriving, and that's awesome to see.
And that entrepreneurship spirit, like, I hope that, like, goes on to her children. Her father was an entrepreneur. Her mom.
Well, I want to know what her mom does, because she's.
I know. What is she doing?
We need more.
Maybe there'll be a part 2.
Dun, dun, dun. I mean, we got to find out when she gets to 15 locations.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to get her back and ask her about that.
So it was such a pleasure speaking to Jamie today, and she definitely has a good message for people to listen to, and is definitely a role model in terms of, like, dude, 18, you are never too young to set a goal and have it achieve something phenomenal for yourself.
Yeah.
So kudos to her and her strength and her perseverance, and more people like that in the world.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Rule 42, bro.
Rule 42.
1, 2, 3, 42.
Rule 42 is hosted by Audrey Cruz and Jen Burke. It is produced and edited by Tom Smith. The opening song is Rule 42 by Eddie Carr. Rule 42's artwork was created by Aubrey Cruz. And I'm your announcer, Molly Smith. Thank you for listening to Rule 42. We hope you enjoyed the show. New episodes premiere every Thursday on all podcast platforms. Please subscribe, share the show, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple.